And we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. What is up, folks? Happy Monday. Hope y'all having a great day. Hope you started the week off right. Got to it. Started working on your goals for the week. Today we got a good podcast topic for y'all today. And today's podcast topic is going to be about results. And the reason I want to go over results in this podcast episode is because we're going to talk about at the end, we're going to talk about the results from my Ultramarathon. I'm going to break it all down for y'all to let y'all know how the day went, what I thought about it, how I did, things like that. So we're going to keep it to a minimum, but I had to provide some kind of value for y'all. You already know, got to drop some value every episode. So we're going to hit results real quick. And then we're going to dive into the Ultramarathon because that's probably going to take a little while to go through everything there. So results, when it comes to your fitness journey, results are important, obviously, because that's the goal. Like, you're trying to get the result of your goal. Obviously, like, that's what you're going for. But results are more important than just that. Like, results play more of a role in your fitness journey than just achieving whatever goal you were trying to achieve. Yes, that's great. Honestly, that's a great part of the results, but results are a lot more than that. So what else does results? What else can you benefit from seeing those results? Well, first and foremost, number one is motivation. So seeing those visible improvements, whether that's strength, whether that's endurance, whether that's your physique, your overall health, that's going to help keep you motivated, and that's going to help you continue on your fitness journey. That's going to give you more reason to keep going. Those results are going to validate your effort that you're putting in and day out. And those results are going to create momentum for the next phase or the next thing that you're going after, the next phase of your progress. So it's like, yeah, you've already created a little bit of momentum. That's what got you the result in the first place. But then once you see those results, it's going to trigger that momentum, and it's like a downstream effect. Like you see the results, makes you feel good about yourself, you feel stronger, you feel better, it's going to make you motivated, and you're going to keep going. You're going to want to achieve more. You're going to want to do more, and that's great. It motivates you. So that's number one. Results can motivate you. Number two is for goal tracking. So obviously, your results is a result of the work that you're putting in, and you got to track those goals. So results act as a way to track how well you're doing in reaching your goal. So if your goal is to lose 50 pounds and say so far your result is 20 pounds, well, that obviously helps you know that, hey, I'm 30 pounds away from my goal. It helps you track it so you know if you're making that. Or if you're trying to get stronger, say you're trying to bench press 225 and now you're hitting 185 now, well, you know that, hey, I'm getting closer to my goal. My bench press is going up. I'm getting closer to my goal. So it's a good way to track your progress and helps you stay on track. It gives you measurable indicators of how far you've come so far. So it's a great way to to keep you motivated and track your results. So results can help you track your goals, whether it be hitting a new personal best, losing fat, gaining muscle, improving your endurance, whatever your goal may be. If you're seeing results, getting closer to that goal, then that's a win-win situation. That's number two. Number three is consistency and discipline. So positive results, they reinforce the importance of consistency and discipline in your routine. They just do. Because like when you start seeing the results, you in your head, you may not be actually thinking this, but subconsciously you're thinking, okay, well, if I do this one thing, if I be consistent in this one thing, if I'm disciplined in this one thing, then I get X result. Like if I do A and I do B, then that equals result. So consistency and discipline will kind of reinforce the importance. Being consistent and being disciplined will help reinforce that importance of your goal of being disciplined in your routine. So when you see that your hard work is finally paying off, finally seeing some results, it reinforces that idea, and it helps you stay on track, and it helps you kind of keep benefiting from putting in the work, being consistent, being disciplined. So that's number 3. Number 4, adjustments and learning. So we all know that plans don't always work out the way we planned them to work out. And results are a great way to help you identify what is working and what is not working. For example, if you're not seeing your desired outcome, if you're not getting close to your goal, well, then you may need to tweak your diet a little bit, or you may need to change up your workouts a little bit, or you may need to improve your recovery strategies if you're not recovering. So whatever result you're getting, it may not be the result that you wanted, or it may not be getting you closer to that goal. So you need to learn from that, and you need to make adjustments. So that's something else that that results can give you. It can tell you, hey, I'm going down the wrong path. I'm not getting the result that I wanted, or I'm not getting closer to where I'm trying to go. So something's not right here. We got to change something up. We got to make an adjustment, and we got to learn from that and move on. So that's number 4. Number 5, health benefits. So results aren't just about aesthetics. They're not just about performance. They're also about your overall health when it comes to fitness. So improvements in your body composition, you can have improvements in your energy levels, you can have improvements in your mood, improvements in your like long-term disease prevention. These are all crucial aspects of why results matter. Yeah, you may be getting stronger, and that's the result that you wanted. But a side effect of you getting stronger is better energy levels, better mood, better body composition, things like that. You know, there's overall better health benefits are a side effect of getting the results that you wanted, whether that's losing weight, building muscle, whatever it may be. So health benefits, that's number 5. And number 6 is confidence. So achieving your results, it's going to help boost your self-confidence because you're getting closer to that goal. It's going to make you feel good about yourself, whatever that goal may be. It makes you feel good about the time and the energy that you've put into it, that you've invested into your health, to your goal, whatever that may be. You've put time, effort, hard work into it. So it's going to make you feel good about that because you've actually seen the results that you're trying to see. So it can lead to a positive self-image, both physically and mentally. So that's a great thing. It's going to build your confidence. When you start losing that weight, you're going to feel a lot more confident. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better in those clothes that you've been trying to fit in. You're going to, feel better about yourself. If you're getting stronger, you're going to be more confident, things like that. So that's number 6. That's confidence. So those are my 6 reasons as to why results are very, very important in your fitness journey. I'm sure there's a lot more than that. These are the 6 that I come up with. But yeah, this is why you need to work on seeing results. Yeah, you have a goal, and you can use the results as you're working towards that goal to help you out and to benefit you in those 6 ways. So to recap, we had motivation, number 1, then goal tracking, consistency and discipline is number 3. Number 4 is adjustments and learning. Number 5, health benefits. And number 6, confidence. So that's results in a nutshell and why you should be looking to achieve results in your fitness journey, obviously. So that's going to lead us to the results of my ultramarathon. So y'all see how I kind of made that segue there. That's why I decided to do these together. So I can't remember what all I talked about on last episode where I talked before my podcast. I think I broke down how everything works and stuff like that. So I wanted to go back to, I was thinking about the question, why did I do this ultra marathon? And I was having a hard time coming up with an answer. And honestly, I don't really think there's one answer to this question. I have several reasons as to why I did it. 1, it was a bucket list thing. 2, I want to prove it to myself. I just want to see what I'm capable of. 3, I want to inspire other people to kind of chase their goals and dreams because maybe they see me doing something and it inspires them to go out and chase their own goal, whatever that may be. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons. I could sit here and name reasons all day. So I couldn't really come up with a good answer to that question, unfortunately. But it got me to thinking that no matter what my reason was, I'm just very thankful, very blessed that I can even do something like that. Like I got 2 working legs. I can walk. I can run. I got free time to be able to train, to be able to go out there. I have family that went with me and supported me, during the race that traveled 4 hours to come watch me run for over a day straight. And it's made me very grateful when I got to thinking about this. So I just want to say thank you to my family that supported me during the race. I had a great race crew. They took care of me, fed me, they made sure I was okay the whole race. So that was awesome. And I just want to say thank you to anybody else that sent any positive messages, words, anything like that to me. I appreciate y'all. If you've been cheering me on or whatever, if you've been following my journey on social media, thank you. If y'all hadn't yet and you want to follow along on my journey, it's Murphy McFit. So it's just Murphy MCFIT on pretty much all social medias. So I post a lot about I do a lot of my workouts and things like that on there. So y'all can follow me on there. I'm pretty active on my stories every day, and then I try to post once a day on there. So y'all can stay updated that way if you want to follow along. But yeah, thank you to anybody that had any part in this ultra marathon. It to me, honestly, like, yeah, I'm the only one running the race, but to me, it felt like a team event. Like, it felt like it was a team thing. Like, my whole family they were all invested. Like, they wanted me to win just as much as I wanted, not to win, but they wanted me to finish just as much as I wanted to finish. So I kind of felt like it was like a whole team thing. Like, honestly, I don't think I could have done it by myself. Like, I needed them there. I looked forward to the aid stations. Trust me, I was counting down the miles each and every aid station until I got to the next one, because I looked forward to getting to them, because it was like it's kind of like a burst of energy every time I got to an aid station, because I was struggling, man. I ain't gonna lie, I was struggling. We'll get into it more as we go, but from aid station to aid station, man, it was tough. So I'll just start out from the beginning. The race started at 7 a.m. on Saturday. We got 32 hours to complete the race the next day on Sunday. So we started out 7 a.m. It was a little chilly in the morning, not too cold. I wore a light jacket for the first 3 miles to the first aid station, and then I took it off. It was a little chilly. First 3 miles, I was good, no problem. Got a good little warm-up in. By the time I got to the first aid station, took my jacket off. Still feeling good. And then it heated up very quickly. Like, it got pretty hot pretty quickly, but not too hot. It ain't like summertime hot. I think it got up to like 80 at one point. That was the hottest it got. But that was still pretty hot when you're running outside. The scenery was beautiful. The little trail we was on, it was like an old railroad that they just paved. Well, I guess they took the tracks off and then they just paved it. So it's like a bike path. So it's actually very cool. It runs through like the woods, runs through a few cities. It's like 94 miles long. It's very long. We only did 50 miles of it. We did 50 miles out, 50 miles back. But very pretty. It went through a lot of woods, a lot of farmland. I passed through tons and tons of cows. I went through people's backyards. I went through cities, ran through the middle of cities. So it was pretty cool, interesting trail. Speaking of, I'm going to be putting up a YouTube video. I documented the whole day. I'm going to put up a YouTube video once I get it all edited. It's going to take me a while because I'm trying to make it like a little documentary type deal. So I will update y'all whenever I post that. So y'all can go check it out on YouTube. My YouTube channel is just Murphy McCammon. You can check it out there. It'll probably be a few weeks until I get it done, because I'm going to try to make it a little nice and edit it. So I'm going to put some time into it. But y'all stay tuned for that. So yeah, the scenery is very cool. Very cool, like, what's it called? Not track. Do you call it a track on 50 miles? I don't know. Course, the race course. Pretty cool. But from mile 30 to mile 35, I don't know why, but I struggled in these miles. And it was hard for me to think that I was struggling that early because I was so early in the race. Like, already in those first 35 miles, like, I was already thinking in my head that I wasn't going to be able to finish this race because I was so close to the beginning. Like, I just started. Like, I ain't even halfway in yet to this race, and I'm already thinking about there's no way I can finish this race. Like, I literally didn't think I could do it. I don't know why, but like the first 35 miles, so I was struggling. Like, I was in my head. I was making good pace. Like, I was on good time. I was running. Like, physically, I felt good. I was doing good. But mentally, I just wasn't there. Like, I was out. I was like, man, I'm not even close to the end. I can't even think about getting to 100 miles. I'm not even halfway in yet. I'm not even at 50 miles. And it was several hours in. I was like, I'm several hours in this race and I'm not getting any closer to 100 miles. Like I still felt forever away. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way possible I can do this. And I just kept going, one foot after another. And I swear, these miles were some of the longest miles I've ever ran in my life. I don't know why, but these miles felt so long. I don't know what it was. Especially when we got in Georgia. I swear, Georgia miles are longer than Alabama miles. Swear. Don't at me. I promise they are. And I'm just joking about that, but they felt like it for sure in this race. In this race, we only had 57 people. Well, I think 57 was signed up, but 52 ended up doing it, showing up the day of. So 52 people, we all spread it out on a 100-mile course. So as you can tell, we got pretty spread out. So for several miles at a time, I would be by myself. Like literally, I would run the race. I couldn't see nobody in front of me, nobody behind me for miles and miles and miles at a time. I mean, it was different. When you come and go from the aid stations, you normally see some people, but then you all end up getting spread out in between the aid stations. And they were all different distances apart. So anywhere from 5 miles to 10 miles apart. Each one of them was different. And we got pretty spread out in between. So I would go miles and miles without seeing anybody. So as you can tell, you can kind of get in your head a lot in these long miles, and they can seem very far. And I kept going. I was like, man, I'm not making it to the aid stations. At one point, I thought I went the wrong way. Like I literally think I thought I went the wrong direction because the aid station was not getting. I was like, I swear this aid station should be like right here. And I was still like 2 miles away. Like I wasn't even close to the aid station. So for some reason, my depth perception was very, very off this day. I don't know if it's because I was in a different place or if there was just so much going on that day. I don't know what it was, but I can normally predict about how far a mile is because I've ran every day, every 6 days a week for months. You know, I've done it for a while. So I was like, I can pretty much tell how far I've ran when it's been a mile. Well, this day I just couldn't. I was off so much. Like I would think, okay, aid stations come up in about a mile. And then like a mile later, I would be nowhere close to that. I would still be 2 miles away. So I was like, after a while, I just gave up. I was like, I'm not even going to try to think about where this next aid station is at because I have no clue. Like I was that far off. It wasn't even close. And that kept getting in my head. I was like, man, this aid station is so far away. And it just kept messing with me. So I was like, and that's what got me like in a bad headspace. I was like, man, I don't think I can finish. Well, I just kept going, one foot after the other, kept going, aid station after aid station. Every time I hit an aid station, my family kind of cheered me on, boosted me up a little bit. And in about a half a mile to a mile after each aid station, I felt good. Like I was good. I got a good boost of energy. I was ready to go. Sat down for a second, got some of my legs back under me, and it was cool. But then after that 1 mile, I was like, I was in the trenches again. Like I was struggling. We got to mile 35. And I decided to take some ibuprofen. And I wasn't even really like hurting at this point. I was starting to feel it a little bit by mile 35. Like my legs were starting to feel it for sure by mile 35. But I wasn't like bad off or anything. I could still run good. No injuries, no problems. And I took some ibuprofen just as a preventative measure. And I don't know what it was about the ibuprofen, but it worked wonders for me. I'm telling you, when I left mile 35, it took about a mile or so to kick in. I felt great. And this section of the race, so from mile 35, I'm in Georgia at this point. I'm in Georgia. At mile 35 to mile 50, it's very hilly. There's a lot of elevation change in this. The first 35 miles, it was flat, super flat on the Alabama side. When we got to Georgia, it got hilly. And this was the part that I knew it was going to be hilly. So I was like, man, this next 15 miles are going to be kind of rough. They're going to be tough. That's what I was thinking in my head. But for some reason, after mile 35, like I hit a second wind, dude, and I felt good. So from mile 35 to 50, I felt great. No problem. And I was like, that's when my mindset started changing. I was like, okay, I feel a lot better. Like I'm actually glad I'm out here. I'm actually having fun. I'm actually enjoying myself now. And I felt good. And I was like, okay, like this is good. I can do this. So my mindset completely changed from mile 35 to mile 50. And I felt good. And that was the hardest part of the course too. I was like, I just killed that. Like, I think I went faster through that part of the course than I did the first part of the course that was flat. So I felt good about myself. That was great. I made it to mile 50, the turnaround point, and I made it in a little less than 11 hours, which was way ahead of my goal. My goal was to make it to mile 50 in 12 hours. So I was about an hour ahead of my goal. Mile 50, I was definitely feeling it at this point for sure. Obviously, I'm 50 miles in, but I still felt good. Still in good spirits. Felt great. I sat down at mile 50 for a while to get some food in me, because one thing I wasn't eating a lot of food. I was eating a lot of gels, so I had a lot of gels, but I wasn't eating a lot of like solid food. So my family made sure that I ate. I ate some Chick-fil-A nuggets, some like grilled nuggets. I ate like a whole thing of them. So that was nice. I got some solid foods in. Thankfully, I did not have any like GI problems. I didn't have any stomach issues. I didn't throw up. My stomach was holding down all the food, which was great. That's a great news, because that was one of my main worries. Is I didn't know how my stomach was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to be able to hold down the food. I didn't know if it was going to make me have to go to the bathroom or anything like that. And luckily, I didn't have no problems. So that was great. I could eat everything that I ate. And honestly, like, they had a bunch of different foods at the aid station, and I was just snacking on like anything I saw, I would just grab it. And I'll be honest, at this point, 50 miles in, like, I was already to the point where I didn't want to eat. Like, I didn't want nothing. Like, nothing was like, I wasn't craving anything. So like, I would see a bunch of things on the table, and it'd be like candy and all kinds of random stuff, and I wouldn't even like want it. Like, I didn't even want to eat it. But I made myself eat stuff because I knew I needed to. So I would grab like little random things like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or an Oreo here and there. I finally ate those grilled nuggets. So yeah, that were some things I ate. And then I'm trying to think of what else happened from mile 0 to mile 50. I think that was about it. Nothing too crazy. I was super fast, way faster than I thought I was. I will tell you this. This was a crazy story. All right, so the guy that won the race, he ran the race in 14 hours and 57 minutes, which is just ridiculous. So I passed the first place guy when I was at mile about 40. I don't know exactly how far I was in. I was about mile 40, which means he would have been at mile 60. So he would have been 20 miles ahead of me at this point. And it's 40 miles. I was probably, if it took me 11 hours to run 50 miles, then 40 miles, I was probably at like 9 hours. I was probably 9 hours in this race, and he was already 60 miles in. Actually, no. It's probably like 8 hours. He was already 60 miles in. And when I saw him, this dude, I kid you not, was in full stride running. Like, looked like he would just started the race on mile 1. Like, he was booking it. And this dude was insane. He had to hold that speed the whole time. We did the math. He averaged like an 8-minute, 45-second mile for the whole entire race for 100 miles. That's just absolutely insane. Like, that's ridiculous. I can't even fathom how he did that. I don't know. Shout out to that dude. He's a beast. I don't know how he did that. Like, that's crazy. Shout out to him. He's a monster. But yeah, mile 50 in was pretty smooth. Now, mile 50 to 56, we turned around and went back the other way. We went back. So now we hit all the same aid stations that we hit on the way there. Now we just hit them back, and we hit them in reverse. So there was another aid station in mile 56. And when I got to that aid station, I stopped, and that's when it got dark. So it was already getting dark on the way to that aid station. But when I sat there for about 10, maybe 15 minutes or so to eat, I think it was like 10 minutes. And by the time I got up and got going again, it was dark, pitch black dark. So this was when the race really started. So I ain't gonna lie, it was sketchy. I ran straight down this trail in the woods. It was super, like, pitch black dark. Luckily, I mean, obviously you have a headlamp on. So this was like the beginning of the race. I knew it was finna get hard. I was like, man, this is the time where I find out what I'm made of, what I'm worth. Because I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like being out there in the dark by myself. It was sketchy, like really sketchy. And when I took off, when I hit that first little part of the trail where the trail started, and it was pitch black, yeah, it took me a minute. It took me a minute to get used to it. I was like, man, this is going to be rough. And it's like, it's finally setting in. Like, okay, I've been out here for 12 hours. I'm about to be out here even longer than another 12 hours. Because I knew I wasn't going to be able to run the next 50 miles as fast as I did the first 50 miles. I knew there was no way. So like, I was like, man, I got to do everything I just did over again in even longer. And I got to do it in the dark. And again, I'm by myself. I never really ran with anybody. I ran with one guy at one point for like maybe a half a mile, and we talked for a little bit, but he was scooting on past me. Like, he was doing way better than I was at this point. But yeah, didn't really run with anybody. I talked to a few people as I passed them or they passed me, but I never like ran, like paced with anybody until later on in the race, and we'll get to that. But yeah, This is when it was getting dark. It's getting tough. I was still running. I was doing my run walk pace. At this point, my run was a lot shorter. Like I was only running maybe a couple minutes, and then I was walking more. My pace, my strategy worked out great for the first 50 miles. I did that until I got to the hills. When I got to the hills, I walked up all the uphills, all the inclines. I walked, and then once I got to the top of them, or if I was going down, I ran. And it was very hilly, so like I was constantly walking up, running down, walking up, running down. So I did that. So I held that for a while. And as it started getting dark, it started getting colder. So I went from pretty cold in the morning to really, really hot during the day to pretty cold at night. Like I put on pants, a jacket, a beanie, gloves, the whole 9 yards when it came to it being dark. So I'm doing good. I finally get used to being in the dark. Like I kind of settled in. I got my AirPods, put them in, and started listening to podcasts, try to take my mind off of things. I saw a lot of animals. So I ran up on some possums, ran up on some armadillos. It was actually kind of funny. Some armadillos, like, they ran down the path with me for like 100 yards. Like, normally animals will run into the woods. Nah, these armadillos ran along the woods, like on the trail with me. I don't know. It was weird. I'd never seen them do that. But they ran with me for some reason, like beside me. And then they finally took off in the woods. I ran up on 2 deers at one point. They were just in the middle of the road. I ran right up on them until I got like 25, maybe like 30 yards away from them. Then they finally took off. But yeah, I was getting kind of used to being in the woods at night, and I kind of settled down after a while. So it wasn't too bad after a while, but finally got to where I started struggling. Barely could run very far. Like I was running, not even 100 yards, maybe 100 yards at a time. Then I had to walk for a couple minutes. Then I got to where I was running like maybe 50 yards, and then I would be walking. So I started getting in the pain cave a little bit. My left ankle and my left shin was definitely like injured at this point. Like my ankle was swollen up. My shin was, so I had a big knot on my shin, on the bottom of my shin. My right knee, behind my right knee, like where that tendon is on the back of my knee, it was pretty sore at this point too. So I was already kind of walking kind of funny. I was hurting. And when I got to this one aid station, it was aid station 72. I was at mile 72. It was like 2 a.m. at this point when I got here. And my mom had mentioned that she would pace me if I absolutely needed her to. And at this point, I was struggling. It was dark. I was hurting. And I had been in the dark for several hours at this point. Like I had been in the dark all the way up until 2 a.m. at this point. So I was by myself for a long time in the dark. And I was like, man, I just need somebody there with me. Like I just need somebody to talk to, somebody to keep me company. So I asked my mom. And this was a weird stretch because the next aid station was 10 miles away. And that was the one aid station where you couldn't see your crew at. And then the next station after that was 5 miles. So if my mom was to walk with me at this aid station I'm at now, that means she had to walk with me for 15 miles because she couldn't stop at the next one. She couldn't stop at the one at 10 miles. She had to go to the next one, which was another 5 miles. So in total, it was 15 miles. And I asked her, I was like, hey, I need you right here. Can you go with me? I can't even run. Like at this point, I couldn't run. When I got there, I made the decision. I was like, hey, I'm just going to stop running. Like I can walk. I'm just going to have to walk it out. I had plenty of time at this point. And I was like, yeah, I need you to go with me because I don't know if I can make it to the next aid station by myself. So she was like, all right. She put her shoes on. She put her clothes on, like some warm clothes. It was freezing at this point. It was cold. We took off and we started out on that first 10 miles. And it was cold, but it was bearable. It wasn't that bad. We were doing good. Started out very fast. Like it actually worked out. My mom was pacing. Like she set up pretty fast, like walk, like a power walk. She was going pretty fast. And it actually helped me because I just try to keep up with her. Like she set a pace and I was like, you hold that pace. I'm going to walk. I'm going to keep up with you. And we held that for a while, for like probably 5-6 miles or so. We did that. And after a while, I couldn't do it. I couldn't keep up with her pace anymore. I was like, all right, I can't do it anymore. Like you got to slow down. I can't keep up with your pace. Like I was done. At this point, like my body it wasn't shutting down, but it was exhausted. Like I couldn't push no more. Like I thought I could. Like I thought I could just fight through and run no matter what. And I couldn't. Like my body it had it at this point. So I told her to slow down, and we just started walking beside each other at a pretty normal pace, not like a speed walking pace, just like a normal walking pace. And we did that, and these were 10 long miles, like very long miles. When you're walking in the middle of the night at 2 to 4 a.m. in the morning, these were 10 very long miles. We finally made it to the aid station 10 miles away. And I don't know what it is about this one little area this aid station was in, but it had water on both sides. Like there was streams or rivers on both sides of this aid station. And for some reason, right there in that one spot we were in, it got freezing, like absolutely freezing. Like I swear, when we got to that aid station, the temperature dropped another like 15, 20 degrees for some reason. I don't think it didn't actually drop that way. It just felt that way because we stopped walking and stuff. And when we stopped here, we got some food and stuff. And luckily they had a fire. So they had a fire there. So we sat down by the fire. And I swear we stayed at this aid station for like, it had to be at least 20 minutes. I would say even closer to 30 minutes. I don't know. My mom said we didn't stay there for 30 minutes, but it felt like it. Like I would have stayed there for 30 minutes if I could have. There was a fire, and it got so cold I started shivering. Like I was shivering very bad, and this really like scared me. I was like, oh God, like I'm shivering. This ain't good. Like I'm not going to be able to keep going if I'm shivering. I was like, all right, well, let's sit by this fire. Let me warm up a little bit. Never warmed up. Sat by the fire, but I was still just constantly shivering. It was rough. I didn't know what to do. I was like, well, maybe because we were walking, it wasn't cold. I was like, maybe once we start walking again, I'll build up some body heat and I'll stop shivering. So finally, I worked up the energy to get up to go to walk. And I'm stiff at this point, like hurting, stiff. Like when we sit down for a minute, my body just stiffens up. So I finally got up, started going, and I was slow, very slow, because I was trying to loosen it back up so I could start walking again. And I was still freezing at this point. But eventually, as we kept going, we warmed up. Like my body heated back up, and I stopped shivering. So that was great. But the next 5 miles, again, it was brutal. By the time we got to the end of those 5 miles, the sun had come up. So that was pretty cool. Like at the end of that 5 miles with my mom walking, the sun started coming up. That was a pretty cool experience. And our headlamps died. We both had a headlamp. Luckily, about the time they died, it started getting bright. Like it wasn't bright, but the sun was coming up just enough so we could still see in front of us. So we walked in the dark, like dark for a little bit. Eventually the sun come up, and this would have put us at this aid station. It would have put us at mile. There was 13 left. So what's that? 87. It would have put us at mile 87. And I was struggling. And I was like, when we got there, I asked my wife, I was like, hey, can you walk with me? I can't run. All I can do is walk. And she was like, yeah, I'll do it. Because so we had a 10-mile stretch. The next aid station was 10 miles. So she decided she was going to walk with me for 10 miles. At this point, I'm struggling. Like, I'm moving slow, like very slow. Actually, I'm still walking normal pace here. But as me and my wife get going on this next 10 miles, I'm walking at a normal pace. A couple miles in, I'm moving very slow. Like I can't go. Like my wife she's walking normal pace, and she's just walking off and leaving me. And then she has to stop and turn around to wait on me to catch up with her, because I can't go. I literally couldn't go no faster. Like I was moving very slow. Like I was walking, and I was giving it all I had at this point. So luckily I had her there to kind of talk to kind of pass time a little bit, which helps a lot. But I was hurting. Like this was a hard time at this point. I was trying to think of anything else like that went on. Nothing really happened. We finally made it to the last aid station. It was at mile 97. So that was a 10-mile stretch. I walked with her, and I was like, we only got 3 miles left. You think you can just walk with me again for these 3 miles? So she said, yeah. She walked with me. At this point, at the last aid station, I literally sat down, and I sat there for a while, some more than I had been. Guy at the aid station gave me some pickle juice, so that was clutch. I think that helped with like cramping and stuff. Luckily, at this point, I didn't have to deal with any cramping, so that was good. That was a plus. I drank plenty of fluids, plenty of electrolytes, plenty of carbs, sugar. Like I had tons of gels, tons of fluids in my running vest. So I stayed on top of my nutrition, which was great. Never had any like cramping problems or dehydration problems or anything like that. So yeah, the last 3 miles were very slow 3 miles, but I made it. I couldn't even run across the finish line. It killed me so bad inside to not be able to run across the finish line. Like I wanted to so bad. Like even if I went to like the very end, like to the very front of the finish line and just ran like 10 yards. I couldn't even do that. Like by the time we got there, I said, screw it, I'm walking. I was like, I don't even want to run across this finish line. I'm walking. And I walked across the finish line. I did. I know it didn't make for like a cool ending, a cool finish or nothing because I walked. But honestly, at that moment, I didn't care. Now I do care. Like now I wish I would have ran. But at that moment, I didn't care. I wanted to walk because I couldn't run. I just couldn't. Another thing I forgot to mention, I told my mom when we were walking the 15 miles that she walked with me, I said, I wasn't enjoying myself at that time in the middle of the night. I was not having a good time. I told my mom, I said, do not ever let me sign up for something like this ever again. Do not ever let me do one of these. So same thing. I told my wife when she was walking me, I was like, this is a one and done. I'm never doing this again. Don't let me sign up for another one. And at the time, I 100% believed that. I was like, I don't want to do this. I was not having fun. I didn't enjoy myself. I knew I wanted to do it one time. It was a bucket list. That's all cool. But now afterwards, after the fact, I've kind of changed my mind. I definitely will do another one at some point in my life. Not anytime soon. I don't think my body, actually I don't think, I know my body was not prepared for this race. I was not ready. And just by not being prepared is like, I couldn't run the last 28 miles. So that was one factor. And two, my body was destroyed after. We'll get to that a little bit after. But yeah, my body was destroyed. Like I hurt myself and it was just not ready. Like I only trained for about 7 months for this race and that just wasn't enough time. You need to run 100 miles. You need like years of running under your belt for you to be able to like do this actually and not injure yourself and actually run. I would say at least 2 years, at least. I only gave it 7 months. So if I ever do another one, which I probably will at some point in my life, it'll probably be at least 2 years from now, at least a year and a half to 2 years from now. That way I can give myself a long time to build up some endurance, to build up some miles on my legs, to build up those muscles, get my body used to it more, to really build up some mileage because that's what I think I need. I didn't give my body enough mileage. I didn't do enough long runs either. I think I need to stack some more long runs back to back to give my body the ability to teach my body how to run when it's hurt, or not hurt, but like when it's very worn out, sore from running a lot. So I definitely think I was undertrained going into the race. So I highly, highly recommend not doing one of these until you have ran for a couple of years, in my opinion. Do I think you can do it without a couple of years? Absolutely, you can do it. And I say that because I did it. I trained in like 7 months and did it. You could probably do it training for less than 7 months. You could probably do it training for like 3 months. Because honestly, a lot of it was mental. It's just putting one foot in front of the other. Like I was going to cross that finish line regardless. It didn't matter if I crawled across that finish line. I was going to cross it. Period. Point blank. Period. I didn't care what I had to do. Because it was just a mental thing at that point. But yeah, you definitely need a few years of running consistently. Not on and off, but running consistently to do it and do it correctly. Can you do it without that much training? Yes, absolutely. But I wouldn't recommend it because you're probably going to hurt yourself. You're probably going to injure yourself. So we'll get into that. Injuries. My left ankle, like I said, it was jacked up pretty early on. The shin splint in the bottom of my left ankle was swollen. Right knee, everything was hurting at this point, but these are the main parts. My right knee was hurting. The day after the race, I couldn't walk on my own. I had to use crutches. Literally, I had to use crutches for a day because I couldn't move my legs. Like, they were that stove up, that stiff, that sore. Like, it was bad. I had to lay on the couch with my feet elevated. I had to sleep with my feet elevated, and, like, couldn't do nothing. I was pitiful. I literally thought I injured my left ankle. Like, I thought I hurt it for good. Luckily, I healed up very quick. Like, a day after, I didn't even have to use the crutches no more. Like, I was healing up pretty fast. So the soreness went away pretty quick. My right knee hung around a little bit, but it's good now. And my left ankle, my left foot, there's still a little something going on there. I tweaked something in my foot and in my shin, but it's healing up though. It's getting better. I haven't ran at all. I actually went to the gym today for the first time. So today was the first time I worked out. I haven't ran though. I'm probably gonna give it, I don't know. I say I'm gonna give it another week, but honestly, I'm itching to get back out there and run again. I really am. Like, I wanted to run today, and I want to run tomorrow, but I know it's probably not smart for me to run. I probably need to give it another week before I run. But I at least went back to the gym today and took it easy. I didn't go too hard at the gym. I'm gonna take it easy this week, get back in the gym. But I am gonna get back to running. So I am gonna try to keep running in my routine for sure. Absolutely. I want to get better at running. Like I want to get faster. Right now my running is slow, very slow. During my training, I was averaging like 10 minutes per mile. So I was just running very slow. But I want to increase that speed a lot. Like I want to get faster. So I think like one of my goals is definitely going to be to run a marathon like fast. And that leads us to what is my next obstacle? Like what's my next challenge? And unfortunately, I don't have an answer for you. I don't have my next challenge yet. I have a few things I want to do that I have in mind, but I haven't decided. I want to give myself a break a little bit. Like I'm just gonna chill out for a little bit and train and just see where the wind blows. I mean, or see where it takes me. Because right now I don't want to do anything because I just want to like get back into like a normal routine, you know. But I know in like a month I'll probably be pretty bored of that, and I probably want to do something. So y'all stay tuned. I'm sure I'll come up with something soon. But for right now, I'm just gonna lay low, get back to working out, get back to running, build up that aerobic base, and then we'll go from there. I have a few things that I want to do. So I think I covered pretty much everything from the race. I do want to compare the 3 challenges that I've done so far. So if you've been listening to the podcast, you probably know that I do a different challenge every year. So every year I want to do at least one challenge to kind of challenge myself, something to train for, a goal to achieve, kind of like a bucket list type deal. And the 3 I've done an Ironman. I did that in 2023. Last year in 2024, I did a bodybuilding show. And then this year in 2025, I did the 100-mile Ultramarathon. So I kind of wanted to compare the 3 and their difficulty levels. And this is very hard to do because they're pretty different. But people keep asking me, like, what was the hardest? Which one was the hardest one you did? And it's a hard question to answer because they were different ones were harder in different areas, if that makes sense. So when it comes to actual physical exertion on like race day, the Ultramarathon was by far the hardest. When it comes to mental preparation and just longevity, bodybuilding was the hardest by far. But when it comes to training, the Ironman was the hardest. So, well, like, why are they so different? Well, the Ironman, when it comes to Ironman, there's 3 different disciplines. So that means you have to train all 3 disciplines every week. So I literally trained 7 days a week for months on months and months. And 5 days of those weeks, so like the weekday, Monday through Friday, I was training twice a day. I would do swimming in the morning, and then I would either bike or run in the afternoon, 5 days a week. And on the weekends, I did my long bikes and my long runs, which were several hours at a time. So I trained a lot. And there was a lot of training that went into the Ironman. But by the time I got to race day, I was so trained, like, it wasn't that hard. Don't get me wrong, the Ironman was hard. It was hard, but it wasn't nowhere near as hard as the Ultramarathon when it came to race day. No way. It wasn't even close. It was hard, but it was hard differently. So the training, I would say it was harder. For the Ultramarathon, the training was not that hard because all I did was run. I ran, and I only had to do one discipline. Yeah, I had some long run days, but most of my training was pretty short runs and very slow runs. Like I did do some tempo workouts, some speed work, but not much. Most of my runs were just slow zone 2 runs, like 10-minute mile runs, like not short, but like medium distance, slow runs. They're pretty easy. Like once you get your endurance up, those are pretty easy runs. Yeah, I did have some long runs here and there, which were tough and challenging, but it wasn't as hard as the Ironman training. But it's a little different than the bodybuilding show because like Ironman and Ultramarathon, you train up to your race day, and then your race day is the hardest day. Well, bodybuilding's different. Like bodybuilding, the hard part is the training, like leading up to it. And then by the time you get to show day is easy. Like all you do is pose at that point. Like that's the easy part is show day. So it was on actual show day, that was the easiest one, was bodybuilding show. But the prep, like leading up to the bodybuilding show, it was very tough, very hard. Like I would say the bodybuilding training was harder than the Ironman training for sure, by far harder, because it was mentally draining, physically draining. Like I don't know, it was hard. I was not in a good mood, no energy, didn't want to do nothing. Like all I could do was work out and do my cardio, and that's all I could do. Like I couldn't do nothing else. I had no energy. It was hard. it was just a tough time. So they're three very, very different challenges. Well, not very different. Ironman and ultramarathon are kind of close, but bodybuilding, very different sport for sure. So they were all hard in their own different ways. So if I had to rank them, honestly, I would put, I don't know, it's hard. Bodybuilding show and ultramarathon, I would kind of put on the same level because the training for the bodybuilding was very hard and show day was easy. Well, to me, the ultramarathon training was pretty easy for the most part, but race day was very hard. So I would put bodybuilding show, ultramarathon on the same level, and then I would put Ironman underneath it. That was just my experience I had with it. And so it's kind of hard to compare them because they're not apples to apples. So it's kind of hard to put them in the same category. But yeah. Oh, something else I wanted to share. We'll get to that in a minute. But there's one thing that was consistent about all three of these challenges, and that is at some point in my training, since I get so fixated on that one goal, I'm so dialed in on it, and I do it for months and months and months, that at some point in my training, I always reach a period of burnout. Like I get to a point to where I question why I'm doing it. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, why I keep doing this to myself? Why am I doing this? I don't want to do it. I'm tired. My body's exhausted. And I think it's just a result of overtraining, in my opinion, because I'm so dialed in on this goal, and I'm so sticking so perfect to my training program that after a while I just get to kind of a little burnout. I'm kind of doing too much. Probably need to give my body a rest, give my body a break. But since I'm not giving myself a lot of time to do these challenges, I don't really have a choice. I have to overtrain. I have to be ready for these goals because I'm doing these in less than a year, like a couple months. Like I trained 7 months for ultramarathon. I trained for the bodybuilding show in 6 months. The Ironman, I think I did it for like 9 months, something like that. But like that's not a lot of time compared to how most people do these events. Like most people train for these things for years before they ever do them, or they build up to them. Like the Ironman, most people don't just do an Ironman. They start with short ones for a year or two, then they work their way up to a half Ironman, then they work their way up to Ironman. People with ultramarathons, they'll run 5K, 10K, half marathon, 50 mile, and then they'll work up to 100 mile. Like they don't just jump to 100 mile like I did. I know that's kind of stupid, but my point is I'm training for these goals in a very short period of time. Like, yeah, it's a few months, but that's not a long period of time to do these goals, to accomplish these things. So I always reach a point of burnout. And I felt this in like all three of my trainings, for sure. All three, that I question why I'm doing it and I want to quit. But somehow I push through and I keep doing it. And I'm glad I did because it was worth it at the end. I get the reward from completing it. So I'm just glad that I pushed through those hard times on each of those. And now, like, I know it's going to be a thing. Like, whatever my next goal is, I know it's going to happen at some point, and I just got to push through it, and it's all going to be okay at the end. Like, for every low, there's always going to be a high. Like, you hit a low, you're going to come out on top somewhere else. Like the hard time's always going to pass. There's a scripture. It's always, this too shall pass. Like, just remember that. Like, if you're in a bad place, just know you're gonna bounce back at some point. Like, if you hit a low, at the end of every low, there's always a high. You just gotta wait on it. So just remember that whenever you're going after whatever goal it is you're trying to go after, you may get burnt out, you may be in a bad spot, but as long as you keep going, keep stepping forward, one foot in front of the other, you'll come out of it. But one thing I wanted to show y'all from the race is my step count from the race. I'm finna blow y'all's mind. Hold on, I gotta pull it up on my. Well, now I can't find it. I gotta pull it up on my fitness thing. How many steps I took, because it's kind of crazy. All right, so on Saturday, so it took me. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. It took me 28 hours and 35 minutes to do the whole race. So over a day, 28 hours. You get 32 hours to complete it. My goal was just to complete it. I got it in 28 hours, 35 minutes. So obviously I went into the next day. I went into Sunday. I didn't finish until like 11 o'clock on Sunday. So my step count is from 2 different days. So on Saturday, I got a total of 144,580 steps. That was just Saturday. And then on Sunday, I got 68,870 steps. So that was the race. And let's see what that adds up to be. 68, what did I say? I lost my spot. 68,870 plus 144,580. That's 213,450 steps that I got in this race. That's crazy. That's definitely a record for me by far. I just thought that was a pretty cool number, so I had to share that with y'all about the race. I'm trying to think. I should have did this podcast earlier because I had a lot of things in my head that I wanted to talk about, and now I done forgot like what I was planning on talking about. But I pretty much hit everything. I'm trying to see. Let's see. Did I hit everything? Yeah, I don't really need to talk about like my gear, the start, middle miles. Let's see. Yeah, some reflections and lessons. So what did I learn about myself from this experience? I learned that, and I know this is so cliche to say. This is the most cliche thing ever, but it is so true. And I learned this for a fact in this race, and it's that you can do whatever you put your mind to. And so I learned that you can do a lot harder things than you think you're capable of. And that was one of the reasons I did this race. Because honestly, I didn't know if I could run 100 miles. I didn't think I could do it. And I doubted myself a lot of the time. I really did. So I do these challenges to prove to myself that I can do it, to prove myself wrong. So you can do hard things. Whether you believe it or not, you can do hard things. You just got to push through when times get hard. It's going to get hard, and you're going to have to fight. But you can do hard things. And if it's something that you want to do, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. I know it's very cliche to say that you can do whatever you put your mind to. But that's definitely something I learned. Because I told you, miles 3 to miles 35, I was struggling. Like I didn't think, I was like, there's no way. I was telling myself, I'm not even 50 miles in at this point. Like, there's no way I'm finishing this race. And sure enough, I did it. A long, long time after I was thinking that. But yeah. Would I do it again? Why or why not? Yes, I would do it again. Why? Because I'm stupid? I don't know. I really don't. Why? Because it's hard to say why. Like you'll never know why until you actually do it for yourself. Like I can't put it into words. You would have to do it. Ask anybody else like that's done 100 miles. I mean, they'll just tell you like it's one of those things you have to experience for yourself. It's one of those things that it just changes you. Like you become a different person on the other side of that race. Like once you cross that finish line, you're just a different person because you know how much work you put into it. You know how much training you put into it. You know how hard you worked. You know how hard that day was. You know all the suffering you went through. You know the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads. Like, that's why people do these things. That's why people like these challenges, like to challenge themselves because it makes them better. It makes them come out better. It makes them think about things like I mentioned earlier in the podcast. Like it made me be very grateful because like that I get to even be out there. That I get to run. That I get to be out in a free country, do what I want to kind of thing. So it opens up your mind to a lot of different things. It teaches you a lot about yourself. There's a lot of learning opportunities when it comes to doing challenges like these. So would I do it again? Yes, absolutely. If I do it again, but not anytime soon. I got to train a lot more for it. I need to run for about a year, at least another year, 2 years to get my body used to it before I start doing that. What would you do differently next time? Train more. Obviously, I would train a lot longer. At least 2 years before I ran this race. Anything else I would do differently? Not much. The only thing I would do, if I trained more, then obviously I would be able to run more towards the end of the race. So I don't like the fact that I couldn't run at the end of the race. Like mile 28 in, I couldn't run. So I wish I was able to run. If I could have ran those last 28 miles, I could have finished this race in less than 24 hours, easy. Like I was way on pace to hit 24 hours. But since I couldn't run no more, I had to walk it, and that put me way out of it. Like I wasn't even close. I was 4 hours over the 24-hour mark. So I definitely just trained more so I could go harder for longer. Other than that, don't think there was much I would change. Like my pacing strategy worked pretty good. The run walk strategy worked good. Had a good crew. Never had any GI problems. Anything like that. Everything else worked out pretty smoothly. So that was cool. Any advice I would give someone who's thinking about doing their first 100 mile? Well, if you're one of those people that's like me and you want to risk it to get the biscuit, go for it. 100-mile race. Do what you want. But if you're a normal person, I would say work your way up to a 100-mile race. Don't start at 100. I would say do a do it in order. 5K, 10K, do a half marathon, do a marathon, do a 50K. So 50K is like 31 miles. Then do a 50-miler. Then do a 100K. That's like 62 miles. And then do a 100-miler. Build your way up to it. That's a smart way to do it. That's like progression. That's a smart way to do it. And it's probably going to, one, it'll allow you to work your way up better, so you'll have better progress. But two, to keep you safer, like you won't get as injured because your body is building up the mileage. You're getting up to that distance. So that would be my advice. Just be smarter about it than what I did. I mean, can you do it the way I did? Yes, absolutely. I did it that way. Do I recommend doing it that way? No, I don't recommend doing it that way. But then again, I'm only giving myself a few months to do these challenges, so like I kind of have to do what I have to do. If I want to do it within that year span, I only have so much time to work with. So yeah, closing thoughts. How has this changed my perspective on life, my discipline, my goals? I don't know how I would say it changed like my perspective on life. You know, I guess one thing that I mentioned is it just made me very grateful to be able to do things like this. It changed my mindset. Like I can do a lot harder things than I realized. So I know like if something comes up later in my life that's pretty tough, I'm going to look back on this moment and be like, hey, I did that thing. Like if I can run 100 miles and I can overcome whatever this new obstacle is. That's nothing. That's a piece of cake. I've already done this thing over here. It was a lot harder. This new obstacle is nothing. Like I'm going to be able to do that, no problem. So that's kind of something I'll take from it. Discipline. I mean, setting the new goals every year locks in my discipline because I dial in on that one goal. So my discipline's always been pretty good in my opinion. I mean, yeah, there's definitely some things I slack on in different areas for sure. But when it comes to like my fitness challenges and stuff, I'm pretty locked in on them. Once I have a goal, a set clear path to achieving that goal, I can pretty much stick to it pretty good. Goals right now, just take care of my body. My goal is just to ease back into working out, ease back into running, let my body kind of recover after this. After I put so much stress on it. I mean, you're putting stress on your body, it can take a toll on it for sure. So just get my body back healthy in a healthy place. And then once I do that, once I get bored, you know, I'll figure out my next goal, my next obstacle, challenge, whatever I'm going to do, and we'll go from there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I know I'm forgetting something. Oh, well. We'll talk about it in a later podcast. I had a whole list of things I wanted to talk about in my head, and now I forgot. I wish I would have done this podcast earlier. But, oh well. It is what it is. If you have any questions about the Ultramarathon, y'all please hit me up. Send me a DM. I appreciate it. Leave a review on the podcast. 5 stars if you would. Appreciate it. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you listen at. Go ahead and subscribe over at the YouTube channel. I appreciate it. Share it with somebody that you know that needs to work on a fitness journey or get into their fitness journey. I'd appreciate it. Other than that, y'all have a great day. Peace, love, protein. We out.